Welcome to Probability of Demise. This is a actual play podcast held together by four, but really two people holding it together these days. Because where are our partners in crime? One of them is stuck in traffic somewhere. One of them is still escaping the circus. But we are a podcast D&D live play. Definitely expect our friend Larissa, who plays Trixie, to be back any moment. So I'm sitting across from Jason, who plays Asher, and I DM the game.
I'm always here, but I also live here.
It's pretty easy to always be there when you...
I work from home, and I live here, so...
The life is all there. We apologize for our puns and memes. That's a lie. Gotta find a new line. We have a writer for that, right? We're big budget.
We apologize for our excessive swearing and rampant sexuality. I don't know. I got nothing.
I'm like this weird bounce back and forth on both ends of the right left right now. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of... Is it me? Is it me? Is it me? I've been following that.
I don't know.
So...
We're just audio stimming a bunch of people now because there's a weird left-right sound thing.
Yeah, I think it's my mic if I switch sides to it. No, not my mic. It was just in my head. I'm going to take up theme music. Thank you for listening.
Definitely not stalling, right?
Definitely not stalling at all. There would be no need to stall, right?
Making up sound problems. I'm sorry, we're having technical difficulties. We'll be back however long it takes Larissa to get,
So we're without announcements, but there are some exciting things going on in the world of gaming, of course. A lot of people have been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. D&D Beyond has been purchased by Wizards of the Coast. So that has ups and downs that different people are talking about with different levels of excitement and fear. But the one that I think stood out to me, I don't know, as a writer, you might run across this a lot. People got really upset about some of the language where Wizards claimed ownership over things that are added to D&D Beyond in the update to the policy. But I remember reading the policy when I signed on because I'm that type of nerd. And D&D Beyond claimed ownership of everything you wrote in there. So I was kind of enjoying that maybe people only read it when they saw Big Pharma Lumen. In this case, Wizards of the Coast. But
just call Wizards of the Coast Big Pharma.
I did. That's a terrible thing to say. I'm going to get...
Wizards of the Coast is responsible for the opium epidemic.
And the ridiculous thing is this illusion or this parallel situation is being created with my own words coming to haunt me eventually in the future, because I would happily work for Wizards of the Coast. And now someone will pull this from an archive if I ever...
What I would take is a sponsorship from Wizards of the Coast.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, your Wizards of the Coast is not Big Pharma.
Apparently they don't have to sponsor me because they already own my character, which is in D&D Beyond.
Well, they own tons of different ideas, or at least they have a claim of ownership through their terms of service. Woohoo. And again, not
our terms of service is that we own all of your souls for listening. Thank you for listening.
Oh, I'm not wearing that shirt anymore. This morning I put on the shirt that was the bunny that says hippity hoppity, now your soul's my property. I felt like it was too far gone past Easter to wear it here tonight, but oh well. Well,
I'm pretty sure you're not required to have a holiday to wear a bunny shirt. I'm just...
Yeah, but...
Especially when you're not even religious.
All the things you say are true and logical. And where were you an hour and a half ago when I was getting ready to come over here?
You're saying you want me to come over and watch you change because now this is getting weird.
Oh. All right, so welcome to our show.
I should try these dice. I don't use these very often. I can't really see them.
No, yeah, the black on black is hard. I actually really like my black on black dice, but I chipped one of the gemstones, so now I'm not happy with myself for doing that. I'm going to transition us over to a little bit of background story for the world then, since this is why I prep these things. This is the roughest of rough drafts, because I wasn't ready for this actually. In the early days after the momentous changes that eradicated much of life on the planet, there were gangs that were originally just individual bounty hunters, but eventually developed into larger organizations, and were often tasked by bastions of humanity with going out and finding people with specific talents, people whose skills were needed by these little standing outposts. Somebody who had knowledge of water purification, sending out crews to hunt down folks who were famous survivalists so that they could be recruited forcibly or peaceably into the community to benefit those communities. These gangs eventually became more sophisticated, and as certain abilities started to show themselves among different members of the populace, various animals, these gangs became even more complex and eventually reached a status where they were an accepted part of the fabric of society. They began to compete with each other, and wars were fought and won over territory rights, and various areas came under those roving groups' claim. Eventually, more civilized areas started to push back at the grabbing territorial nature of these gangs, and some of the gangs themselves gave up their livelihood in exchange for a safe place for their own people and for their families and children. And so eventually most of these gangs, these groups of pirates, most of them were dissolved and disappeared, but not all of them. And some of them became very, very good at capturing people with abilities. One famous
That'd be a bad
group
day, isn't it?
was known as Anemone and Filch, named after the two leaders of that gang. And around 100 years ago, maybe a bit more, that group seemed to dissolve, but remnants remain. And every once in a while, you'll still hear about the secretive group now known as Filch's Finders, scouring the areas for people with abilities and turning them over to those who pay the best. Whatever happened to Anemone, nobody knows. But Filch had a legacy and has left his mark on the continent. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
With that, a little bit of...
Assuming Law and Order. That was not a Law and Order impression.
No, I don't. I think that you have to do the dun dun. No, I don't even know how do you do that. It's the ding ding, right? The Law and Order ding ding. Recap from last week. The folks from Overton arrived and began taking over. We got to witness a version of Trixie that was very much to the letter, not going in multiple directions all at once, following some sort of code of conduct. We also got to witness a bit of a duel between magic users. Some surprises on both sides. And we had the opportunity to kind of get packing and collect our stuff before the long trip. So I'm guessing at this point that you and Trixie probably divided the chores, collecting food and whatnot, and are kind of going about that to get ready to go. And would you be trying to leave on this day, or would you be trying to leave the next day?
What time was it when we were finally back together?
You definitely were in the afternoon. You're trying to get out from under all of the, because there's a lot of activity going on right now, or are you trying to start with a fresh day?
I feel like we might, given how badly they wanted to get away from the Overton people, they might just like go a little ways down the road and camp.
Okay.
Especially since there's no Tanzanite to complain about camping.
All right. So what I would like to do is I'm going to roll for Trixie. She's not going to like that. Whoa. She's definitely not going to like that.
Just cursed her dice.
I did. Can you roll a stealth check to see how easily you're able to get out of town?
I was definitely prepared, and my Wizards of the Coast D&D Beyond app was open.
Uh-huh. Ooh.
I'm very sneaky, though. I did very well. 23.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that the two of you are able to slip out of town fairly successfully. I think you're probably aware, because I know her passive perception may not be there, but I think between the two of you, actually hers is pretty good. You are able to slip out of town. You do hear, whether it was from the man himself or from just people talking.
We probably made an effort to like say goodbye to Fawn and Miss M, and like probably at least those two. Maybe like the Fisher people like that put us up, just like the people that helped us.
Okay, yeah.
Like rather than like sneaking away. Like we were sneaking away from Overton people, not from the people that we befriended in the town.
Yeah. So. Well, specifically what you probably would have heard maybe from one of those folks is that Grand is looking for you.
No.
So if you're slipping away to camp out a little bit further out for the night, that's fine. But you would have heard before you left town that Grand is in search of.
All right. I guess I feel like Asher wouldn't just like bail with that in case he needed something or had news of Tanzanite, or so he'd go find him. Probably check his weird warehouse thing.
Yeah, I think that checking the weird warehouse thing, as you say, wouldn't have resulted in much, but then quickly are able to get directions to where Grand is at the moment. He has been negotiating with a potion lady that you know fairly well. Well, you've run into her a few times at this point. And you come upon him, you see that he's negotiating with this woman, and he seems to be slowly working his charm. She's definitely interested in the idea of, when he keeps saying the words expansion, her eyes just get this glimmer of greed that you can spot a mile away as a people reader that you are, and a social mover that you have been. So yes, you come upon that sort of situation going on right now.
Okay. I know them both, so I'll just like walk up to them and be like, hey, did you need something? Because we were about to leave.
Grand sees that he thinks he's sealed the deal over here, and he looks over at you and goes, oh, my good woman, I have important matters to discuss. May I take your leave? And he's just like this genuine moment of, it's a little bit like when he finished the deal with you all to be his brand ambassadors. You can see that he's sincere in these negotiations, and this is actually possibly where his heart lies. And she nods, and she begins just going back to her baubles and bottles and other things, and then she turns really quickly and goes, if you need some more private, my cart's just around. And she kind of gestures behind the facade that she has put up that makes the space look as garbagey as it looks. And you can see that there's a bit of a oversized hand cart. And Grand peeks around and shrugs and then waves you back.
Okay. He's gonna kill me. No, just kidding.
Oh, you roll an insight check. So when you get back there, oh, I love Andy. He just wrote in chat, if he wins the lottery, he'll sponsor us all. So you walk back behind there, and Grand is kind of just sitting at the bench level, or where a bench might be if somebody was sitting on this. And it's very much an herbalist cart. You can see that there's a ton of different sprigs of things tucked away in different places. It's also, there's these little parcels and herbs drying on some sort of rigged up rack. And it's also clear that there's some way for her to rig up a shelter, kind of a ring system, so that she can create cover for herself if she chooses to sleep on the cart overnight. And as you're kind of getting a chance to check it out, you can see that Grand has a different expression on his face than he's been hosting so far, a little bit more real. And he looks you in the eyes and he goes, I haven't heard from the scouts. And he holds up the rock that you saw before. He just shakes it and you hear a rattle inside of it. I'm concerned. We're to follow you all and start securing trade immediately. And I would like to offer, if you're able to wait, to make this one grand caravan be a little safer. You help us, but mostly more is probably safer, since my scouts are lost.
All right. I mean, we're kind of hesitant to wait any longer. Like, we've already stayed here longer than we should have, and our friend is missing.
All right.
Do you have another one of those stones? I could, like, message you if there's trouble.
I have one more. They're paired. And this one's dead. And he kind of tosses the stone onto the ground and it just clatters as it falls. I'm happy to give it to you. It's not that we intend for you to be our scouts in this situation. You're our ambassadors.
Do you know where your scouts were supposed to go, or where? I mean, we could try to look for them.
Last we heard, they'd heard rumors from other people on the trek. Apparently there are more people moving about to the north of here than we ever knew. They were chasing down a rumor on the last check-in regarding your friend. Rumors were about that there was a town where a group had taken a silver cart into, and they were going to investigate. Small town, middle of nowhere. About 3 weeks from here. It's hard travel. But if you can find out what's happening, and if it's your friend and you need us, and he reaches over and he holds forth it looks like one of the gemstones of Overton. It's just a brilliant azure shiny object, and he pulls out his own, and they kind of match in like kind of a mismatched way, like the opposites attract sort of thing. You can almost, as you're holding the stone, feel a little bit of a pull on it. disguise that. He points to the stone that's on the ground. I used to cover them in mud. I think I'm just gonna keep it in a cloth pouch these days.
I'm gonna like take it. I'm just gonna like press to digitate it so it's really dirty and you can't see that it's like a gem.
So the soil from the ground just kind of swirls up it around your hand, and he just is watching you. Yeah,
Like that?
I admire you. I admire you, kid. I wish I could do things like that.
I didn't know I could do things like this until a few weeks ago. So
there's always hope. Is that what you're saying?
maybe.
Yeah, don't tempt me. I have access to too much I would be a dangerous man if I was pursuing abilities like yours. So it's better that I keep to my merchant's folly.
Fair enough. Well, thanks for this, and sorry we can't wait. We'll keep an eye out for your guards. This little town is on the road to Canyonville, on the way.
Yeah, I think I was told take the left fork. The left fork, but not into the woods.
Okay. Yeah. We do have like we have a map, right? Did we get a map?
Yeah, you have a section of where you're at currently, and you have kind of a vague outline of the pathway to Canyonville.
I don't remember. Is that in my journal or does Trixie have that?
I think that's in your journal because she was drawing things in your journal.
Okay, so I'm gonna take out my journal and like look for the fork in the road.
Looking at the journal, it's hard to make out these markings, but you kind of have a vague sense of there is a pathway that goes straight into the woods, and it's just clearly the map maker was more of an artistic bent than perhaps cartographic in nature. And you see a path that goes into a bunch of trees and no more, and then on the other end of this huge section of trees there looks like there might have been a path scribbled out, but it's hard to make out, so you have no sense of what might be in between on that side. And then on the right hand side you can see that there's the path and it forks, and one path goes more or less horizontally across the page just under another grouping of trees that again was much more artistically done than accurately done. And the other path follows along the edge of the topmost clump of trees. There's no village marked anywhere on it, but you can see that there's a sense that this is probably what was being described.
Okay. Do you know how long this full journey takes to Canyonville? The village is 3 weeks.
Well, that's why we had the scouts. Best estimate, this village is halfway there.
Okay. The scouts are on foot?
Yeah.
How much time could we shave off if we like had something to ride or like a horse or an animal?
If you can find a horse, good on you, but those are expensive beasts to attain. I don't have any, and I try to manage a trade network, but they seem to die pretty easily, even the ones that they're not up for most. If you hear monkeys in the background,
sounds like the Persian lady's neighbor's dog is really upset about something.
Yeah. So you're able to make out that wow. Okay. You're able to make out that there's a pathway there. You can make it there. You and I think, why don't you roll a history check? But since you don't really have a background with any animal husbandry, even though you've been kind of working on developing this skill, just roll a history check to see if you can think of any beasts of burden that might be useful. Keeping in mind that mostly Overton has been reliant on foot traffic and trade.
5,
yeah. Yeah, there's nothing in your bank of memory with regard to that.
I would assume even like my knowledge of the existence of a horse is like probably from books and not from seeing them.
Oh, definitely. Horses are, and as much as you're
Oh wait,
aware of,
8.
even there,
Yeah.
you definitely are aware that there's been stories of books. You've probably seen pictures of books. A DK eyewitness book that was all plastic pages that survived through the ages had images of a whole bunch of animals that you are aware of the existence of these animals, but you've never seen one. Not in this space, not in Overton. Yeah. And I don't, let's see what he, yeah. I think Grand suddenly has a thought, and his face just kind of lights up, and then he frowns. So there is a group of people that were trying to train this bird-like creature to pull a cart.
In town here?
No, they came through Overton back when I was a kid. Haven't seen them since. They said that they were headed out to a group of their folk. I honestly, my memory is not so strong. They said it was too cold here, but they had come down further south than we are, and collected some of these birds, and they were odd-looking creatures. Large. Their feathers were white and black, but they were huge, and they thought that they could get them to pull a cart. So if you ever run into those people, maybe they would know something.
Fly with a cart?
Oh, these birds didn't fly.
Oh. I just remember where we are. Okay.
So, I mean, they were gross-looking creatures, so I don't know.
Okay. All right. I need to stop at the bookstore, and then we're gonna be on our way.
All right. Just take care of yourself.
Yeah, we'll let you know as soon as we know something, about Tanzanite, about your scouts. When we find a village, when we find Candyville, like whatever, we'll stay in touch.
Here, take this in case it's useful. Overton funds just don't seem to work out in the rest of the world, and he hands you a pouch.
Money.
Yes. So potions. I'm so excited to seal the deal. And he just, as he walks around the corner, he's already back into the show mode. And
I'm gonna walk out since Potion Lady likes me. I'm gonna be like, these good people.
Cool. So yeah, you can see they get engaged in lively banter, and she kind of looks over at you and she nods.
I'm just gonna wave at them both and then go. And I'll peek in the pouch. Like, how much is in there just for my inventory?
Consider it about 600 gold pieces worth of gems.
Been paid to be a brand ambassador. I know. I used to know a guy who was a brand ambassador for a clothing brand, and his job had a lot more sex, drugs, and rock and roll than Asher's job does. But
yeah, well, you can't be a brand ambassador of post-apocalyptic scenario and expect sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Maybe mushrooms. I think Asher still has mushrooms in his bag.
Yeah, definitely. You still have those and a few other things like that.
So I'm gonna go because Asher has an idea, which means I have an idea. Asher's gonna go to the bookstore and rush inside and be like, "Do you have a book on birds?"
Just a second, somebody just arrived, so there's going to be a little excitement. It's Fawn who greets you, and it's funny because her affect each time you've come in has changed a little bit. and she had gotten all flirtatious before. And
Also, assume we gave Fawn her dress when we came to say goodbye before.
okay, but this time when you see her, she's almost aloof. Oh, sure. I'm sure that Miss M would love for you to look around. I'm going to be in the back. She just starts walking into the back room, leaving you on your own in the space of all the books.
Can I roll like an insight check to
Roll an insight check.
This dice kind of likes me. Try new dice because my other dice betrayed me last week and the week before.
Welcome, Larissa.
That is what was it? 17. I'm using all the dice I can't see, so I have to like pick them up and be like,
It's good. It's good for camera. Yeah.
I think
So
that he can't see, but he has glasses that he's not wearing.
it's not even that. Like, try to read those.
If you stop moving it, okay.
So yeah, you get the sense that, like many preteens and teens, she's experimenting with a bunch of identities, and she's trying out the mean girl mode. And since you were working in a tavern, you've seen people in all their different forms and formats in this vein, and so seeing her act like this is just you can pin it as, oh yeah, I remember.
She found a 3,000-year-old Cosmo that was like how to get boys to like you, and she's trying out everything.
She's currently trying out the hard to catch version. This one is penned by a farm wife that's 300 miles out of town, and she hasn't actually ever dated anyone, but it's
It's the opposite of cosmopolitan. I don't even know.
it's the post-apocalyptic guide to finding men.
How to find yourself a husband.
Within 3 kilometers.
How to attract a mate when you can't see them to date.
What are we doing? Okay.
So you're looking for something
I'm looking
in the
for a
bookshop.
book on birds.
Book on birds. Okay, so go ahead and roll an investigation check as you just go through with advantage because you did a lot of work in this space already and you kind of know
Because
the
I have
layout.
a terrible idea, so let's hope this works out. 13 or 3. So what am I rolling? Investigation?
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, I would say it takes you a little bit of time, which, you are burning through the daylight hours a bit here, but you go through and you find a couple of books. One of them, that kind of led you to finding this section is one that you actually rewrote. So that's kind of, it cued you to the idea of she might have put this back. Where would it be over here? And then you find that there's another one next to it that was penned more recently. That's definitely looks like in the vein of the farmers materials that are around. But this one seems to be just a little bit different in scope. Maybe written by a different professional, but there's another text on birds.
Do any of them have pictures? Drawings?
The one that you rewrote does not, because when you rewrote it, didn't do that, but the other one has sketches in it.
Okay.
And it looks like maybe a little bit like a naturalist's journal.
I think that's
Just thumbing through
more
it.
what I would be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest bird inside of this thing?
Yeah, you scroll in and you find a very large fat bird. And as terrible as it is, you can see that it's called the pinguana. And there's all these notes about its history and heritage, and it being a strange species that developed on the islands to the south. There's even a little bit of notes about history and folklore about the entire land being covered in the relatives of the pinguana, but they all died out as the big ice, which is all that it's ever mentioned as. And you've heard about the big ice before, but the big ice disappearing.
Okay.
Big freeze.
What is the largest non-flightless bird?
The largest non-flightless bird in this
Like
thing?
what's the largest bird that can fly in this book?
can fly or
that
can't fly?
Okay. As you look through it some more, can you just go ahead and roll another investigation check to see if you can find something? I'm really nervous about whatever this is at this point.
That's the mischievous face.
21.
All right. So the notes on this one are very small, as in not very detailed, but there's a sketch. And at first, looking at the sketch, you're just like, this bird just looks like a normal bird. But then you realize that there's a tiny, tiny drawing next to it that's meant to be, especially as you look a little bit closer with a 21, a stick figure of a human. And the human only looks to be about the size of the talon of the bird.
Okay. Does this bird have a name?
It is unnamed, and the notes seem to indicate that this mystery bird lives to the north in the mountains at the center of the continent. It's only spotted once or twice.
Okay.
And it's more myth than reality, except that the writer of this says that they saw it.
Allegedly.
All right. I will go and find my traveling companion.
All right. So, yeah.
I'll say goodbye to Fawn again. Bye, Fawn. We're leaving town.
You hear a... Oh, have a pleasant journey.
Thanks. You know you'll miss me. Bye. I'm just going to leave.
So bad.
There's a beat or two. Do you wait outside the building at all for just even a few seconds, or are you gone?
I mean, I might stop outside to like tuck the book away. And, like,
as you're tucking away the book and everything, you hear this.
oh.
Young love.
And then you head off to find Trixie. Trixie, you've been pacing at the north exit to the town for a while. Asher's errands having taken a little bit longer than he intended. You have the supplies you were sent after, and you're pacing back and forth because you both agreed we're getting out of town, even if all we have time for is to move a few miles off and get away by dusk.
Yeah.
That was the call I made for us at the beginning.
No, Trixie is happy to leave ASAP.
Yeah, so pacing back and forth, waiting there. Time is passing, and then you see Asher coming down the lane between the buildings.
Oh, thank God. I was just about to pull out the syrup. Like, it's
all good. Grand was looking for us, so I went to see him, and he gave me this big bag, and like I show her the bag of like 600, was it gems you said?
600 gold pieces worth of gems.
Yeah. In case we have expenses, and all of his scouts have not checked in, and he wanted us to travel with the caravan so that we were all safer in a group, but I said that we had to go. So he gave me this. I'm gonna pull out it's like another gem, but it's like I prestidigitated it dirty, so it like doesn't look like it's valuable. It's like one of those sending rocks, those message rocks that his scouts have.
Oh, nice. Who's on the other end?
He is. So I told him that if we find the scouts that.
Oh, okay.
We let him know, or if we find Tanzanite.
And then maybe we can leave that with them. I mean, it would be nice to have someone.
Supposedly 3 weeks down the road is a village that is halfway to Canyonville.
Okay.
And that's where his scouts were following a lead that they thought might lead to Tanzanite. There was a silver wagon that went into the town there. And also there's a fork in the road, and we're supposed to go left. And also don't go into the woods. That's all he got from his scouts.
Okay.
So I'm going to pull out the map that we have in back. I think it's here. Like where we don't go in the woods here. And I think the town should be around here.
Okay.
You can see that on the vertical axis of that there's kind of a horizontally looking across, there's a pathway that goes off to another set of woods just below those. And then there's the pathway that goes up more vertically, northerly. And then there's a tiny little path that like pokes into the woods and disappears because the designer of this map may have been more artistically inclined than cartographically.
Who could that be? And Bonnie?
Well, I assumed she was with you this whole time.
This is why I love D&D. It's because this whole time I'm just like,
Hey, Bonnie,
"Man,
let's go.
got
Okay.
Bonnie again.
We've got the cats.
She's gonna be
I'm assuming we've got the cats. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I said we went to the bookstore and we went to the fishing house and like said goodbye to everyone. So we got all our stuff. We got the cats.
Okay.
We got Bonnie.
Sorry.
I did
would you
very
do without
specifically
me?
point out that we went to these places and said our goodbyes. So I don't think that
Okay.
I was like, bye, fisher lady. Thanks for putting us up. See you, Bonnie.
Okay, bye.
No, I think that in the course of you planning your shopping trip, Bonnie also was involved in collecting supplies at some point and it had arrived, and then seeing you pacing had just like stood off to the side and was like, I'll wait until this is all done. There is one thing to roll perception checks, both of you.
Oh dear. We should paint those letters beforehand.
No,
Yes.
this is way too much fun.
I perceive a 14.
Same. Which is sad because I have a much higher bonus than you, I think.
I think it's like 2 hours into your trudge up the road that you finally notice that Bonnie has a new bit of gear. She's got a bow slung over her back.
I'm gonna kind of like just walk over and just kind of nudge her and be like, "That's neat."
What's neat?
And I just kind of like shoulder nudge her, even though it's probably more like her hip and my shoulder, to like jostle the bow, and I'm assuming an accompanying quiver.
You jostle the bow and you can't make out a quiver.
There's no quiver?
There's no quiver.
Okay, well then I just jostle the bow.
She goes, yeah, I'm learning. It's to practice.
Good. Practice is good.
Yeah. I think. And she kind of looks at the cat that's kind of like clinging to her hip. She's not really quite sure how to handle it perfectly.
Is it just like,
So it's right alonging on her pouch.
oh, okay, it's at least in a bag. I'm just like,
But
is it
it's
just,
not.
like, hanging like
But it's not
lunch?
in. It is like hanging on with its little claws.
Oh.
But it seems to be very peaceful with this. Like this was the arrangement that they agreed to somehow.
Oogie?
And you can see every once in a while she winces as its claws stab deeply into the leather, past the leather. But she looks at it and goes, yeah, I think we need it. And she just looks up at you like she's just shocked that she said that. And it's, I'm learning new things.
That's good.
Yeah. You know that you can't do this with underwater. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, know that.
The water up here is much thinner.
She needs air, right? Okay, yeah. Yes, it is. There's a lot less of it. There's a lot less of it around us up here.
That's amazing. I really like it. I don't think I want to go back.
Oh well, I'm glad you do. I mean, it's.
I mean, we can't breathe there, so that's good.
Yeah, you've got one up on us.
Oh, so maybe I should go back.
No, why would you? Why?
No, I'm saying if we want to stay together and you don't want to go back, then that's good because we can't really go there anyway.
Oh, but I can help you if you need. Oh,
But you have to like focus. Like you
Yeah.
can't just go bing and then we're good. Like you have to. It would no.
it's exhausting.
Yeah. So why worry about it?
Yeah. Do you want to see something cool?
Of course.
She pulls the bow off. So I didn't pick up anything from Gran before, but I signed a contract with him, so I'm an ambassador too now.
Oh, great! I'm.
Did we ever sign a
Great.
contract? I don't remember. Or did he just say we were ambassadors? I don't even.
I think it was more of a verbal agreement.
Yeah. Okay.
And she
Let's hope.
pulls back on the bow, nothing knocked onto it, and she. What should I aim at? What should I aim at? What should I aim at? And she's panicking. You can see
I'm
panic.
just gonna
all
point
over.
at like a tree.
She quickly and
And
she
then
like
squat.
passes both over both of you.
I am squatting, which means I am
And-
now like 1.5 feet tall.
She releases, and you see nothing, but you hear from the tree a quick, and then and the tree shakes.
It's a magic bow.
So I don't really know what it does besides make things move, but it's been fun.
We'll fiddle with it when we get to camp when we camp tonight.
Yeah, speaking of, it's probably getting on like dark now, right?
Yeah, the sun is definitely setting as you've been.
We should probably stop so we can see to set up.
Yeah, I suppose.
I have some ideas to make up some time, but I'm gonna have to work on it
To make up some time.
in the morning.
What do you mean make up some time?
So
like a
to make a 3-week journey, not a 3-week journey. But...
Oh, to speed our journey up.
Mhm.
Sorry. I thought you meant like to improvise something. I didn't understand your the phrase you said.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's make camp.
All right. So you go about making camp. I feel like this is the first time you've actually camped out. You've been on
We camped out with Bonnie's dead body once.
You set up a camp and you left Tanzanite alone with it.
No. He did.
But I definitely think this is the first time you've done it.
Have fun storming the castle.
I think this is the first time you've done it on your own without being near any possible succor, or at least none that you're interested in taking. So what I would like you to do is determine a watch order and be ready to roll some perception checks on that duty.
I will take first watch if you want. Did you have syrup lately? Are you gonna be able to sleep?
I'll take a nip if I need to. Stay awake. I'll be fine.
So do you want first watch?
Sure. I feel like you like to sleep in, right?
Yeah.
Or do you want to? Well, you want to stay up. You like staying up late, so why don't you do it? Because I'll get up early. So why don't I take the last watch and then I just get up a little earlier?
Okay.
Okay. Bonnie, you want to take
Should
the
we
middle?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
should we make some dinner?
I'm hungry.
Me too.
And I'm pretty sure so is...
Oh, right.
All right. What do we get for food? I know that we mentioned that we were going to get food, but
last time we talked about it's basic trail rations is what you had.
I'm assuming a lot of like
again, so-
dried fish.
You
Fish jerky.
probably were able to get some dried fish and such like that, but the more prevalent item, because the fish tends to be sent to Overton. But
bastards.
Oh, didn't we discuss like a hardtack?
you're mostly faced with a lot of hardtack and the ways you make it not as fancy as lemons.
Have you ever eaten hardtack?
No, but I've made
I think it was like Old Fort William.
Oh no, I have.
Yeah,
I
it's
have.
just like you just take a bite and like your whole mouth dries out.
Yeah.
Like it's all just like really salty and yeah.
Yep.
No, I
12-year-old Jason sort of enjoyed the experience. I'm pretty sure 42-year-old Jason would get a blood pressure headache from it.
Well, I worked in a camping program and we would do that quite often to ourselves, which was an unhealthy and very unsuccessful option that just constantly is like my stomach turned when you say lambda spread, I'm like, that actually tastes good. Hardtack does not taste good. It's not
Everyone but Gollum.
Yeah, Gollum was starving. So yeah, you are setting up camp. You're making some food.
Nomming on some not lambda
If you
spread.
ever want to turn your hardtack into something more interesting or try to fix it, then I will let you roll for those types of things.
You know
but
what I'm doing.
right now you've got paste and syrup. Okay.
Gotta get the prop.
I mean, it's Trixie sized, so just imagine me smaller. This is inside, and I'm just gonna be like, because I'm ratcheting it. So just
I don't know if that would be more depressing or not.
Who got the food? Was it me or you? I don't know.
I think you both had different things to get into Garner. So
I wasn't here.
'Cause
you were
know.
here when we discussed this last week.
Okay.
This was a last week discussion before this. session.
I'm just wondering, like, if
Just
Asher had an opportunity to get a syrup refill, because he told her to do it, and she said she didn't want to waste the money. But Asher probably would have grabbed it if he saw it.
Yeah. Well, let's retcon this and just have some fun with it. But I did have her roll to whether or not she ran into it, and I think I had you roll.
I didn't find syrup.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
I think I had you roll a D12.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead and roll a D12. If you hit, you roll a D12. If you both hit the same number, he finds it.
If we get the exact same number,
Yeah.
You roll black dice. I'll
I
roll
like
black
this
dice.
game.
I'm glad you like this game. This game makes me anxious. What did you roll?
8.
8. Oh, so close!
7.
It's a 7.
You ran into someone who talked about the syrup works.
Couldn't find it.
It's okay.
That was the same person who also offered you a lot of spices. He said, "Oh, you're going with just that?" And he proceeded to distract you from the idea of the syrup works with flavor. All right, so yeah, you're walking along with limited syrup supplies.
There's also dinner here. Rourke brought us dinner.
Yes,
we
he did.
we waited for you.
Thank you, friend.
So what I would say is you're on first watch. Go ahead and roll your perception check. Talk to me about how you're standing watch.
I am like sitting. Do we have a campfire?
It's up to y'all.
I would say yes, because I'm probably reading the bird book.
Okay.
I would at least, I assume, know how to set up campfire. That
What is it
isn't-
with us camping and me and my low
Smoking.
perception rolls?
Okay, what'd you get?
That's a 2. I think so I get the 5. Yeah, 5.
I mean, you have a great, uneventful. You start to feel sleepy, and you eventually
Till I get murdered.
shake. You eventually shake Bonnie awake.
Poor Bonnie, we always give her the shitty middle watch.
She seems fine with it. And so she takes over, and she also
She's nothing.
no, her it's pre-dawn. You know, when it's that darkest dark before light comes, when Bonnie comes over and shakes you. You have syrup matting your. Never mind.
No, where? Tell me. Tell me.
It's okay.
No, I want to fix it. Where? Okay.
It's too dark for you to see Bonnie's face, but she's just cringing.
If you're listening, Larissa's fake licking her hand and then rubbing it all over her face.
Yeah, the podcast listeners are not missing out. And that's for the ASMR.
No.
You are welcome.
We've lost 20 listeners. We didn't even have that many. So
We're
you
down to -4 today.
it's your turn to serve watch, but Bonnie, before she goes to bed, I heard something, but it seemed to be nothing. So
What did it sound like?
she goes over into the weeds and she runs back and forth a little bit.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
And then she walks back over, and you hear, after she's clearly out of the weeds,
Okay, can I like try to catch whatever it is, or at
roll
least
a
to look for
perception
music?
check.
All right. You sucked, so not you.
Somebody have good perception. Come on.
In theory.
Jamal.
Nope.
What'd you roll?
A nat 1.
You immediately go blind.
Isn't that a Hootie song?
So you think nothing of it.
Just the wind. me.
And Bonnie lays
Raspberry.
down to rest, and you keep thinking, just the wind, just the wind, just the
Eaten by a
wind.
giant penguin.
Anytime I start to get drowsy, I take my pinky and I just dip it in the bottle of syrup.
Just when you're ready to settle into your watch and you think Bonnie's fallen asleep, you feel a total of 20 sharp pinpricks in the middle of your back as you are pounced from behind. And you hear a gentle, very satisfied. And then it starts to climb
Ow, ow, hey,
up the shoulder.
and I'm gonna like scruff it.
I hope this is one of the
Reach
cats
around.
and not like a possum or something.
I'm gonna try to scruff it.
It's
Just
a
'cause I-
penguiny.
It's a what?
Is that a bird or a type of pasta?
The penguana is the bird. The penguini.
It's the pasta you make from the.
All right.
Sorry.
And there's the cat in your hand.
Which one?
It is not the smallest one. It's the one you've been trying to like woo.
No, I have the runt, don't I? You took the bigger
Oh,
one.
no,
I took the runt.
you have the runt. Okay.
So do I- is it- which one?
It's the one that's you've been trying to attach yourself to.
Oh, okay, the runt. You. Hey. No, you did good. You did. You just chill. I take out a little piece of beef jerky, and I put it down.
You see its little eye pupil slits go whoosh.
That's what I thought, and I put it down, and I kind of hold its. I just do one of these. so
As you're
it
doing
doesn't
that,
jump.
its little rear tail is just going along the ground, and it's doing that wiggle.
Okay. And I just slowly feed it the piece of beef jerky.
It's a ferocious little moment. Only cute because it is small.
Right.
In a larger being, it would be a little bit terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a reminder that this will eventually be a larger being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's time for you to take your watch, and you have company. Roll a perception check for your evening's watch. At least it wasn't a nat 1 for that.
What is it? 4 of you have tried to kill me. 1 of you succeeded. It has been nonstop today, y'all. I have had the busiest day, and my poor boss has had to deal with me either quoting a movie or a song continuously. So shout out to the student affairs team at the NYU School of Law for their patience with whatever my vocal stems decided to do today. 11.
Don't do that to yourself and the mic and the listeners.
So don't do that to your poor mic.
I mean, it's mine. I own it. I'll do what I want. I do what I want.
Mic abuse. I'm calling in the
I
authorities.
didn't
This is the same
drop
woman who.
it,
This is
and
the
there's
same woman who
cushion.
nearly cries when someone drops a mic at karaoke.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's an SM58, and that sucker doesn't have one of these on there.
That doesn't do anything for you.
I didn't hit it that.
Sorry, there's a lot of mic tech nerdy people at this table, and all of us have our own little worlds with regard to things, and it becomes
I think Rick
too
cares-
OCD.
I think Rick values microphones higher than human life, depending on its age.
I'm not gonna disagree. Because humans are resilient and they heal. Mics don't. Their souls need caring. So
What did you say?
what?
Humans are squishier.
Yes, humans are squishier, and they heal from their bruises. It's a
Unless you're anemic, but yeah.
Depends how deep the bruise is, Rorik. Let's talk about
I'm
my soul for a minute.
I'm overruled. Y'all believe in humanity. I believe in being uploaded to a giant quantum computer at some point in my
I
life.
believe in 8 people and dogs. That's pretty much what I got.
Okay, good deal.
We digress.
So your evening seems to pass mostly without any problems until the first hints of dawn arrive. And that's when you hear a ka-thunk, ka-thunk out in the same field of weeds. Another ka-thunk, ka-thunk.
Alright, I'm going to direct my attention towards it to see if I can at least try to spot this noise. Oh. Another one?
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
We are not a perceptive group.
This is going to require an act of nature.
Hey, 23! About damn time.
You hear another ka-thunk, ka-thunk. You don't see anything. But this time the ka-thunk, ka-thunk is loud enough that you kind of get a directional on it. And you can see about where it is. And you can see that there's a patch of these weeds that's a little bit thicker in that zone. And it sounds like something hitting on something solid. Ka-thunk, ka-thunk.
Okay. As long as it's not waking up my group mates, I am going to turn slightly so I can keep my eye on it. But I'm not going to wake them up because I want them to get their sleep. So unless something happens, I'm just going to leave that right there for now.
Yeah, I mean...
If it stops, I will go check it out. But if it's just going to continue and there's no immediate threat, I'm going to let my comrades sleep, and I am not going to leave my post.
Turns out it's a raccoon with an axe chopping down a tree.
I mean, hey,
Adding
I'm a
that to the
squirrel. I
table.
can't say shit. What?
Adding that to the table.
Oh my god, you have fur too!
So you continue to hear the ka-thunk, ka-thunk through the evening.
Sorry.
Well, it's when you get close, your sound is good, but then you...
But then I project?
Yes. The ka-thunk, ka-thunk, this one earlier, continues throughout the morning, and the sun is starting to rise into the sky. Everybody else seems to be completely zonked because they're not morning people, and they will sleep through the sunrise.
I mean,
And you continue to hear ka-thunk, ka-thunk.
when my watch is over, I will wake them up.
Okay. How do you go about waking up Bonnie and Asher and the kitties? Your kitten has, by the way, stayed up beside you the whole night long, kind of looking for that pouch every once in a while, but for the most part, watching you, watching the syrup bottle. Holding its own version of a vigil.
I'm going to look around to see if I can see any, like, pebbles or anything, like, just, like, light gravel, nothing super heavy.
Okay.
I'm going to take a handful, and I'm just going to start chucking them at Asher.
What?
There's some noise over there that I want to go check out that's been happening for a while, but I didn't want to leave my post. It's time to get up.
Okay. I'll get up.
I toss one more at him just for good measure.
Ow.
Well, I had to make sure.
I'm gonna sit up.
You hear it next to you, not too far off.
I wonder if she does that when she's on. Or is it just...
Oh. You think you if you breathe water,
I mean,
you
it's
still
like...
snore?
Well, I mean, it's... Okay, you think on that. I'll be right back, and I'm gonna go check out. A crab. Starfish really loves you. Okay.
I wanna go to Okay. So you're going to go investigate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna get up and as she's doing that, I'm gonna start rolling up sleeping bags. And
All right.
doing...
So you're prepping to leaving Bonnie
To sleep.
sleep,
Girl needs
And-
some beauty rest, apparently.
and you walk. You gave her mid-watch. I mean, you crash. You meander over to that section. How are you making your approach? How do you go to the space? The weeds are taller than you.
Okay.
Give it a sneak.
Just sneaka.
I guess, yeah, I mean, I would try to walk gingerly so as to not, like, create any excess noise beyond having to move through weeds.
Roll a stealth check.
This is gonna go well. Oh, hi.
Just don't roll a 1.
Speaking of stealth checks. Okay, that's much better. I want to say that's an 18. I have to... Hey, guess what would be helpful, kids, if you do when you arrive to play D&D?
That's what Jason's line is.
I think that's all of us. I think even Jess would be doing the same thing. Oh yeah. I just know my perception.
I never have this problem.
Okay. Stealth. Yes, that's an 18. See, I was right.
Okay. You easily and surreptitiously as possible, you lose sight of her for a bit, but you know where she's headed, kind of. So you're able to track where a weed bends this way or that way. And you get to the location of the thunking noises, and you see a big silver box. And you hear from within it, ka-thunk, ka-thunk, much louder now that you're close.
I'm gonna keep walking quietly up on it, and I'm gonna
Whatever's inside knew we were there because of the snoring.
I'm gonna walk up to the box, and after it clunks, I'm gonna knock. After like the most recent thunk, I'm just gonna go.
You hear immediately a bunch of hammering back, and then this also.
Okay.
Can I hear her from where I am?
Roll a perception check. 17 or higher.
16.
Boo. I'm gonna examine the box to see if it has like a padlock on it, or if it has like a keyhole, or how it's being held shut.
Do an investigation.
Do an investigate. 15.
You can see that it's nailed shut with tiny little nails all over.
Oh well. I happen to have. Oh, shh. No, I have carpenter tools. Sorry, I have carpenter tools. Okay. I'm gonna take out my hammer, and I'm gonna see if I can at least try to start prying some of the nails.
Yeah, I mean,
like
this is your world. So the first little bit you start wedging out, you can see little fingers come out for a second and then back in.
okay, just hold on. Just I don't want to pinch your fingers. Just wait. Just sit.
After she doesn't come back for a while, I'm like, what are you doing?
There's somebody in a box.
What? And I'm just going to like walk over there.
Right. So you're continuing to work, but you're walking over there.
Bonnie may have woke up because I just yelled, what are you doing at the top of my lungs?
I'm disadvantaged. Oh, nope. She ain't walking up. Like you walk
She
away.
said to the world, just
She
not
rolled over a little
literally
bit.
this time.
Okay, so that was terrible. Good God, Bonnie, don't roll that low again. I need to switch back to her dice. This is unfair to her. Her dice were mean to her, but I should not be using the evil DM dice on her now. So you actually, I gotta use this for the creature. That's creature. Okay, giving our dice a job. We should do an intermission one day just on our dice weirdnesses.
Yeah. Our our collective dice weirdnesses and totally
Was
not
it was it a mission
yours.
30 minutes? We should all do 10 minutes on our dice next week.
Yeah. Just like a 10-minute session and you just talk dirt about your dice and why they are the way that they are.
This dice is an asshole.
Oh God, I don't think I have enough time for
No, you don't. And you're not pulling your other ones out. I'm
This dice
sorry.
was a
It would be
Kickstarter
only
that
DM
showed up a
dice.
year after I ordered it.
So you continue to pry and eventually you get enough off that you think that this is going to be the moment where it frees the creature, and Asher's just getting up to your shoulder. Pop that last bit out, and all you see is a blur as this being jumps up, seems to spin in midair, circles you 3 or 4 times.
Is it green?
Roll a perception check.
18.
It is green and seems to speed off into the distance and then races right back.
Um,
And just pauses in front of you.
hi. Hi.
It's been forever. It's been there forever.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Who did that to you?
And you can see now that it's kind of holding still, that it looks emaciated, like it has been starved for a month.
I'm gonna take out like 3 rations, and just.
And you both ate it the other night. You know what this is and how it is, and it just seems to dissolve into this being's mouth.
And I just pulled out my canteen.
And your canteen flat.
Can I have?
And then when I was
Okay. Who did this? Do you have more water?
Over there. If we go back to the camp, we have more water.
you point and it's gone.
I'm gonna look in the box.
While it ran off to ostensibly the camera to
Yeah.
go find your water and drink it. Looking into the box, go ahead and just roll a perception check to see what you see, unless you're gonna like mess around.
17.
Okay. You can see remains of some creature being stuck in a box for a while. And you can also see there's strange markings on the inside. They look like writing. Kind of carved all throughout the inside of this space. It would be to Asher years and years of work. Inscribed in tiny script all around the inside of the box.
Am I also seeing this?
Mm-hmm.
That took a long time. Can I read it?
What languages do you have again? I know you had
I
Common,
think Elvish.
Elvish.
Don't you have?
Common, Elvish, Halfling.
Don't you have a pink?
Yeah, but
Yeah. So, it looks like Elvish writing, but when you go to look for how things should be strung together, you get the sense that this is in a different type of dialect or language or something. It's off. So it looks like the type of writing that the people who of Underton use, and the people in the forest use, and the people in some of the higher noble houses use. So it looks like that language of the elite that is becoming known as Elvish, but it's different. It's written differently. The letters are used in odd ways, and even some places they're upside down instead of upside right.
I can't read it. But I bet it took a long time to write. Like, he probably writes really fast, so maybe not as long as it would take me. But
still.
yeah, I think he's been in there a long time. Like,
Is he back yet? I'm sure it didn't take him long.
we should
He's not
go.
back yet? Oh dear.
We should go back to the camp in case Bonnie wakes up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You walk back to camp to see a very interesting sight. Bonnie is wide awake. There are 3 cats circled around your green friend, and Bonnie is just pointing her finger at this creature and wavering between mirth and a stern face.
I'm gonna like
Are the cats like hunting? Oh no. I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna like do like a trying to at least snap their concentration and shoo them.
They were just trying to protect me.
I know, but he's fine. He's friend. He's a friend.
Okay.
he was trapped in a box over there for like a long time inside of it.
I'm gonna give each of the cats a little piece of beef jerky as like a reward though, because they technically did good.
So you go ahead and reward them. You see that this creature is like it drained your water canteen, drained Bonnie's as well. But it seems to be, nothing like not waking up with the people who shoved you into a box and have their miniature mountains attack you.
Miniature mountains?
Mm-hmm. And then as he says miniature mountains, you see him perk up a little bit. Well, I guess this means it's the end of my days.
Why?
You understood me. Means I'm slowing down.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry.
I mean, you move pretty fast still.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure to you slow people who...
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Do you
I'm
want to...
pretty much done.
Oh.
Do you want to...
It was good to see you. It was a long time ago, but it's good to see you again. You too.
A long time ago?
You're from Overton.
Yeah, I met you like
You helped us with the dragon. And...
so many suns ago. Back when I was young.
Do we move slow because we age slow to you? Do we
You
live longer
never
than you?
age. You always this. I mean, my great-grandfather told me about when you were smaller, but not too much smaller than you are now, and you eat nut mash, which is a weird thing to eat. I don't know about you people, and I know about you. My great-great-great-great-great-grandmother used to watch you go into the caves, and that was some time ago.
How many suns do you live for?
About 300 and something. I mean, I lived a good life, so it's nice to slow it down. I'm surprised it happened now and after that horrible, miserable incident. But yeah, I'm good.
Do you want to stay with us until...
Oh, I won't be around much. You'll I mean, in your
Do you want us to stay with
worlds,
you?
and it's all right. I'm almost faded away as it is, so don't worry. This is the way it is. I
Yeah,
just
but-
wish I could have warned my people about that box. Actually, I know it may take a few before you get it to my people, and possibly I'll be forgotten by then, but if you could give that to them, I wrote the whole story down for them so they'll know what to watch out for.
You want us to send them the box?
If you could.
We could try.
And
Is your
even
name
as he
on it?
talks, he's slowly faltering and graying before your
Can I,
eyes.
at least go to, like, assist?
Yeah. It's,
Is your name in the box?
yeah. My family name.
Okay. Why don't you just sit down and take a nap?
He's gone.
Why don't...
That was unexpected.
I'm gonna lay him down gently, and then I'm gonna take out my shovel, and I'm gonna start digging a grave for him.
Yeah,
How big is that box?
it's large enough for a full-size person to be inside of it.
Like,
Like
I don't know
a-
how we're supposed to get that to anyone.
I mean, I can try to carry it. Maybe I can wrangle something.
I have an idea. Take out my stone. I'm gonna like say, Is there like a word limit, or is this just a regular?
I think it's 25. It's the same as this. It casts one time to the other stone the sending spell, so it is the 25 words.
Is it a single use only ever?
No. It's
Okay.
once per day.
Once per day. Okay.
What is is there like a colloquial term for these people? Like, I know most people don't think they exist, but
I mean, your home has called them the little green creatures forever.
But Grand may not know what those are, right? Grand's from out of town.
Grant is from out of town, but Grant has also been in and out of Overton. He may be from out of town, but he, especially from what your conversation was, he's definitely been there before when he was younger.
Okay.
now they're leaving in the morning. So if we were 2 hours ahead of them, if we just wait here, will they show up?
I mean, if you waited,
Conceivably. All right. So, I mean, Gran should be here with his caravan in the next couple of hours. Maybe we could have him send it back to Overton. I mean, we can't move it; it's big.
I'm
we
gonna
can't
go
take it
try
with
and
us.
like just.
yeah, I mean, you lift it, and it feels like, from the outside, cedar. It's a heavier wood, but it's not terrible, and it's silvered, so you think this should be light, and then you go to lift it, and it's a decent weight. This would be exhausting to try to move yourself. You can do it in a shorter distance, but
Yeah.
a day's travel, this would slow you down by a couple weeks.
Okay.
I guess we should have just left with him, but we can wait for him now. I guess.
I mean, I still would rather I feel like we'll move faster, even if we're not.
I mean, we don't have to stay with them. They can pick it up for us.
Yeah,
and put it in their
absolutely.
caravan.
I'm saying we can still meet up with them. I'm just
Like, I don't know how to describe in a few words how to find this little box in the weeds.
That's fine. I have to do this anyways, so it's not something you want to necessarily rush unless you have to.
Okay. I mean, if we need any help, we don't have another shovel.
It's all right. It's kind of my thing. Not the grave part, but the shovel part. So
I'm gonna sit down, and as I'm
maybe you could think of something nice to say.
okay, but as I'm thinking about it, then a shovel just appears right here and just falls on the ground. And I'll be
Was that your once per day?
and then I'm gonna pick it up and just start helping.
All right, working
I
together.
thought you said we didn't have any more shovels.
I accidentally made one.
Okay.
Working together, you're able to get a hole dug. Bonnie begins helping as best she can. You have 3 other assistants who get in the way a little bit more than they assist.
Quit pooping in that. That's not where the bathroom is.
But eventually you get a hole. And we're going to take a break. And we'll be back after the break. Please enjoy only 8 minutes of me being ridiculous because I had no more content ideas. And I thought, why don't you just see what my day looks like when I take a day off? Because it was not as wacky as I thought it would be. It was really boring. So enjoy that terrible, terrible experience that you're about to have. While we eat the food that you see me make at the end. And then you're going to have 20 minutes of continued silence because that's an intermission today.
Hey.
Bye.
To be fair, other shows don't necessarily play stuff during their intermission.
That's true.
It could be worse. It could be Kenny G or Muzak. No.
As many seconds as you get.
You're killing me.
Can't avoid the copyright.
Welcome to me being ridiculous. I don't have any content for the intermission today, so I'm going to try to come up with some new ideas, and this is just a preview so you can help me choose which type of intermission video is the video that we should do. So I'm your host on a bunch of random wacky adventures because I took the day off. also comment or talk about wacky things I should do before I'm no longer in this city and in a different city, because I just need to fill content here so that I don't have to delete things. So let's go to a game store. Let's just go to the game store, nice and easy. You said you were going to do it. Great content. Just go to the game store. Just go to the game store. But you're going to buy something and you got to save money. You said you're going to save money. Don't go to the game store. Don't go to the game store. But I really think I can handle it. No problems. I'm going to go to the game store. I'm not going to buy anything. Who are you kidding? You're going to start buying dice. You're going to buy dice the moment you walk in there. Just go home. But I can handle myself. Self-control, self-control, self-control. Yeah, but you're going to need something to fortify yourself. You better go get something. What can you get? No. You don't need anything. Go ahead. Go to the store, just get this done with. Good shots. Yeah, who are you kidding? You aren't gonna be able to handle yourself. Go get some decaf coffee. Alright, so I really am on my way to a game shop, and it's the worst temptations. Second only to go to B&H Photo, which is probably more dangerous. It's a game shop. What could go wrong? Dice could go wrong. There will be dice. I'm toast. I'm gonna forget to record. first time ever making tamales on my own, and I have no idea if I did anything at all correctly. And the wrappings keep coming off. But I don't remember them coming off easily when I made them before, with help. But this is the end of my day off. In a few moments we'll be playing our game. I have not been able to roll enough of my planning rolls, so hopefully I can disguise my ad hoc nature with delicious foods. Yay. Ooh, the buttons
Wait,
were
talk
pushed.
again?
Hello?
Okay.
Um,
Just checking.
Larissa touched my button.
welcome back from the break. I hope you enjoyed the, like, I don't know, few minutes of ridiculousness.
You? That's generous.
No, for the
Oh, your
intermission,
Yeah,
which
got it.
I really hope neither of you ever watched because I was embarrassing myself because I couldn't think of content and I was tired, and I also wanted to have a day off, so I decided to record me wandering around the city. Mostly me getting on and off the subway, honestly. That was probably like 90% of the video.
Sorry, probably 90% of the people who end up watching this will never know what that feels like, so.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll just make a whole series of every city I'm ever in. If I get a full remote job, which would be, I might just city hop for the next year and a half. Game store to game store. Make that my side gig. Go to every conference or every gamer con and then game store hop for a year. Well, that would be luxury.
Game Store to Game Store is the name of your other podcast.
Oh, that would be sweet. Oh, if I can't do it, somebody else better, because that's just something I would listen to. All right, fade out the theme music. Welcome back to the podcast. Those of you who are not watching us live, you're welcome. That was Larissa with cheese.
Well, it's just really stretchy cheese. Like, I can't,
No,
it's good. I'm just letting you know.
from Trader Joe's.
I'm just
It's not a criticism, Mark. Calm down.
I'm not uncalm. I'm just freaking out.
Drink your criminal wine.
Yes, back to my crimes. Okay, so you all are sitting there.
If you're wondering, this wine is called 19 Crimes.
Mm-hmm. It's actually good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
specifically the warden.
Mm. But
Free
you,
advertising. There you go.
yeah, Australia, you're welcome. Invite us down. I don't think I'll say no. You've been working on burial. Bonnie involved herself by arranging the body a bit when she realized that she couldn't contribute directly to the digging, and quite quickly have a little plot put together and a space to inter someone whose name you didn't get to know before they passed away, but their life was...
If I go examine the box, can I figure out what his name is?
You mean looking at the writing and stuff like that? Go ahead and roll a... Let's call this an investigation check. 18 or higher, and you can find it.
If it's
12 to 18 and
11,
something
I think.
else.
12.
All right. With a 12, what I'll say is you think you figured out some sections that appear to be names. You're not sure which one applies to him and whether it's the name of his people or his name. But you can commit those to memory if you so choose.
Sure. I feel like this is their names would be like in Superman, they'll mix a spitalic.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be like trying to read it and pronounce it as it's written. It would be trying to do that. And you're not certain about the naming conventions among their people, if there even is names with beings of such short lifespans. But yeah, you go about that and you're all set. I don't know if there's anything you would or were planning to say or do. And we are being entertained by Larissa, who is a
damn
cheese
stretchy
connoisseur, apparently. She likes her stretchy cheese. But
I would have tried to, go get some flowers. Not flowers, sorry, stones to create a ring. And also to find, if possible, a larger a larger piece of wood, like maybe a something fallen.
I
But
mean,
that I
you're not terribly far from the border of a forest, so it's easy enough to find wood. It's easy enough to find some late season wildflower bits. Stones are a little bit more difficult to find, but it doesn't take you terribly long to find stones of a reasonable size.
I want to carve something, but I don't know what to put.
I tried to find
Maybe,
out his name, but I can't read what's in that box.
but maybe at least something that we can, um, maybe like a nickname or something that we can put on there, and then maybe you could draw a map and put a mark where we are, and we can put that in the box so they know where to find him.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know what to put.
Here lies the fastest man alive.
I don't know if I can fit all that, but I'll try. Maybe this way?
Maybe.
Okay.
He just seemed like being fast was really important to him. I don't know anything else about him.
I mean, I think that's just their people. That's that's their I don't want to use the word race. Not right. That's just how
Species?
they, yeah, that's just, I think, how they developed. Okay, I'm gonna try to carve that down the side.
How about
With
how
my-
about the fastest person I ever met?
Okay,
Because I also don't know if it's a he. For
that
sure.
yeah, that works. Uh, okay, I'm gonna try to do that, and then can you draw a map, and then draw the grave like it looks with the stick?
Okay. I'll do that. Do I have to roll for that?
I would say with your recent stuff in the map that you have and everything, you can easily pull that together. Unless you're trying for something anything beyond what you currently know about your location and
No.
Okay.
Probably just like a map, like from town, like to where we are, basically.
yeah,
From
so
town or Overton?
From the town, like
from
from
Fisherton.
Fisherton to here.
I guess.
Yeah, okay. So all that is done. The silver box still remains, and you're just going to spend the rest of the day waiting for the caravan.
Yeah, might
Yeah.
as well.
Are you going to set a watch for it, or are you just going to?
I mean, I think we're just camped like right off the road, so
Yeah.
that we could miss it. But
anything you're going to get up to during this day?
I'm gonna encourage Bonnie
Very-
to try and practice with the bow and see if we can figure out.
Okay, training montage. Okay, anything else?
Yeah,
that-
I'm trying to recreate sketches of that giant flying bird. In my
Okay, cool. You and Bonnie start working together. Can I have you roll an Arcana check?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go well. Ooh, that corn got some heat on it. I like it. I just keep forgetting. Arcana.
Baby, just go in. And you're sketching the
12.
Okay, 12. As she continues shooting, like she's her aim is on and off. Again, you kind of have like a little target set up using a stone, and sometimes nothing seems to happen. Sometimes when it's clear that she misses and she's frustrated by the miss, the weeds will just part along a trajectory. And then every once in a while, when she's really frustrated, the little kitten beside her will growl and she'll growl at the same time. And you're not sure what's happening, but those are the times where the stone goes tink. And little chips get knocked off the stone.
But
There's
when
nothing
she's
in
shooting
it.
the bow, can I see that?
Sure.
And I'm gonna. Where do you like to put your hand?
She reaches out and it's like she can't even think about it. Her hand just forms to a spot, and you can see that her, like you've had militaristic training, you've had guards training. You can see that she's got more of a hunter's grasp.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you might see for somebody who uses a bow for food.
Mm-hmm.
Not the more militaristic grips that you were trained in or other people were trained in, but it's almost like her hand goes there so naturally she's not even thinking about it.
Okay. I'm gonna take like a little piece. I'm gonna just grab like some thread. Like I'm gonna rip out a seam or something and grab some thread. I'm just gonna put my paw over her hand, and then I'm gonna wrap like around like a ½ inch above her hand. And I'm just gonna tie it off. And then I'm gonna go over to the target that we have set up, but I'm going to see if I can find. Are there like any trees that drop like pine cones or anything along those lines?
This is a deciduous forest, so there's some acorns, some.
Look, there's food.
You say that to me, or you?
No.
Are these memes or are this real?
Just means.
Or imaginarily real?
Okay. Is it the target that I have? Is it just like a big rock or?
Yeah, it's just a big stone.
Okay.
With now some fresh chips in it.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can get like, or if there's like a stump or something, or something with a semi-flat surface, and take smaller rock, like 4 in a row. And I'm gonna put them next to each other. And then, but I want them to be like different heights.
Okay.
And I wanted, so Bonnie, I want you to try something. I want you to look where you want whatever is coming off of the bow to go. And I want you to line it up with the string. Does that make sense? So when you look at the string, you can see what you're pointing it at behind.
Okay.
And then I want to see if that'll hit it.
Okay. She goes ahead and she tries. She misses.
Which-handed is she?
She doesn't seem to. She switches back and forth.
Okay.
She doesn't seem to know that concept.
When you go to wave to someone, or when you go to pick something up, which hand do you use? No, which hand? Which hand is stronger? Which arm is stronger?
They're even. You gotta swim evenly.
Which one do you like better? Which one feels Okay. All right.
She's like staring at her hands, and you see that the little kid next to her is also staring at its paws. Like,
Okay. I have an idea. Stay there for a second. Okay. Now walk towards me.
she looks at you like you're crazy, and then she steps forward with her left foot.
Okay. All right. So now I want you to put the bow in your left hand.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I want you to pull back with your right. And I want you to close your left eye and now try to hit the rock.
It's entertaining a little bit because all these instructions she's trying to follow, and she's awkward about doing it. And as she goes to pull back the bow, you see that she's very wobbly with her thing, but then when she turns her head to look, and the bow is very obviously not aimed at the rock, she accidentally lets go of the string, but the rock to the right topples over.
But she's not.
She's not even aiming at that rock.
I got nothing. I walk away frustrated.
I would have too.
I don't know what that
choice.
thing does, but it is not. It is not a It does not work like a regular bow in regards to how it shoots. I got nothing.
But I want to get better.
I know. I'm just not sure I can help you. Who gave it to you? Grand gave it to you, and you didn't say anything about it?
I just picked it. It was in the pile of things that didn't have his silly little GB on it.
It is a silly little GB.
Yeah, he tried to put it on, but
Asher's scribbling in his journal during all this.
okay.
Maybe when we get to Canyonville, we can have someone take a look at it and see if they can tell us more about it.
I mean, we can ask Grand about it. He'll be here in a little bit.
We can ask him about it, but you should hide it.
Okay.
Otherwise, he's gonna try to put his thing. He's gonna try to brand it.
Okay.
I mean, he gave it to her. He would have tried already. Maybe he couldn't.
She said he did.
It didn't stay.
Oh.
Oh, it didn't stay, so we don't have to
Watch
worry about
this.
it. Oh, okay.
She holds it up, bites her thumb and bleeds a little bit, presses the blood mark on. You see the blood like kind of pool there for a second, then seems to get absorbed by the wood. Cool.
Not necessarily the word I would use, but I'm glad you think it's cool.
Yeah, I did that a couple of times, and now I really like it. It's like we're tight.
Is it alive?
I mean, I guess it is, because those are alive, and she points over at a tree, so I guess it's still alive.
But it doesn't talk to you or anything, right?
She looks at you. Are you crazy?
Just checking.
Hi, how are you doing?
Nothing?
Mm-mm. Lisa's not very polite.
Let me know if that changes. It shouldn't, but
It shouldn't be polite?
no, it shouldn't talk to you. Not necessarily. Basically, if anything looks like it's an object and it talks to you, especially if other people can't hear it, you have to be very, very careful. It could be good or bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And you can see she looks really nervous. It's very obvious.
Why?
Nothing we have to worry about it
Insight
anymore.
check. 8?
You have to assume that she's just nervous about this whole line of questioning.
I'm going to say, that is a weird bow. I haven't seen one quite like it. I hope it is safe. And I'm going to cast Detect Magic on the bow.
It's obviously magic.
When you cast Detect Magic, the bow glows. The cat glows. She glows. You and a lot of things on you glow.
My goggles.
She's glowing. Both the goggles and a couple of other things on her person. And some of the trees around you are glowing.
Some of the trees are special.
Special.
Like, me special, like creating things out of air, or like Nee's apprentice, putting me in ice. Like, magic special?
Are they? What's that word? When you can think thoughts.
Ancient?
That's not what I was going to say, but that's definitely what I meant.
I don't know. I mean, they haven't bothered us so far, so it's probably fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like unconcentrate that so
Oh.
it stops glowing if I can.
One last thing before I forget. The silver box is glowing. Okay.
All right.
Doesn't detect magic tell you what kind of magic it is?
Yes, if you ask.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, well, I would like to. A new learn at School of Magic. So I want to learn the School of Magic on the bow.
Sorry.
That appears to be some sort of transmutation in that zone of things.
Like it used to be something else.
Roll an Arcana check if you'd like to.
There's a very suggestive shrug there.
11.
I don't trust them.
Some sort of change has occurred and is being sustained magically.
So somebody turned something else into this bow. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it used to be, like, it could it be a person? Like, do I know that?
Not with that roll.
Okay. Like, I'm not asking specifically if it was.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, do I know enough about this magic?
No, with that roll, you're understanding that this magic wouldn't at any rate suggest that transmutation is anything being reconfigured into another thing. So
Yeah, I don't know, like, what it used to be. I could try to undo it, but I don't know if that's necessary right now.
I mean, as long as it's not hurting you.
no, it's great. I like it.
Okay.
It's like I have control over the above water.
All right. Well, let us know if it gets weird.
Yeah. Oh. I should try other things with it, right?
Like what?
Like this. She swings the bow really hard like it's a bat or something like that. And nothing seems to happen. Okay. Well, that didn't do anything.
I mean, it's been turned into a bow, so it's probably mostly for shooting.
Yeah. Maybe I should aim it at something.
How do you mean?
I'm tired.
What? Oh, okay.
Sorry. That seemed to be exhausting.
Okay.
Okay, well, are we still waiting?
Yes.
We
This
do
is
a
why I
lot of
didn't-
waiting.
I know. This is why I didn't want to travel with the caravan. I mean, I wanted to get out of town anyways, but this is definitely why I didn't want to travel with the caravan.
I could just run back, it's not that far, and just tell them where this is.
I mean, they should be here. How many hours since we got up?
It's been about 4 or 5 hours.
Like, they should be here anytime. I can message him if you want.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna take the stone and be like, Grand, how far out of town are you? Small problem. Could use your help waiting at side of road.
You get a message back pretty quickly. Well, slow start. More problems than we can handle. Do you need me to send people quickly? Or... Oh, you're not gonna get this. I'm sending someone.
I was gonna say I can't answer him, so.
And he cuts out even before his time's up. Like, you can almost get the sense that he was interrupted, and you don't get any more message from him.
He's sending someone ahead to meet us. So we won't even have to deal with the whole caravan, which is nice. But, okay.
It's about 2 hours later, a little over that. The day is well into the day. You're losing a bit of time here. You're only going to have like a half day of travel at that to go when somebody comes jogging up, and you recognize them. Well, I heard you fixed the vehicle. What's the emergency?
Why didn't you drive the vehicle? That would have been way faster.
It doesn't work.
Oh.
Again. Grand tried to drive it to start us off, and
Okay, so
yeah.
we have this box over here. Are you familiar with the green
lovely
people?
Box.
The green people, like, it's like you might have heard of it as a myth from Overton.
I'm not.
Okay, well,
Tied
there's
into the
little
community.
people that live in the hills. They're about yay high.
All right, some small people. Okay.
They speak very fast, like so fast you can't understand them. They live their whole lives very fast. Apparently, they die in about a year, like their lifespan.
They
They
move so fast that that's why most people don't believe that they exist, because they're very fast. Like,
Oh, so like
faster than
fairy
you can
tales. Okay.
imagine.
right. They move so fast you can't
But
see
they're
them.
actually real. We've met them.
No,
several
fairy tales are
times.
real too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we found one in this box over here, and someone trapped him in there, and he died right after we let him out,
Uh-huh.
but he wants the box to go back to his family in Overton.
Or outside Overton.
I can draw you a map of where to leave it, where I think they'll find it, like outside the wall, if you can have it sent there.
Is this why I was raised ahead?
Yeah, we weren't in danger. We were waiting for you to catch up, but it's been a while.
It'll be a day or two.
I mean, we do have this camp here. You're welcome to use it.
Sure, certainly. So I'm gonna race back. Look, I can take care of this, but we're gonna keep this out of Grand's view if we want this to get back to your friend's people.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, where should we stick it?
No. I'll handle it.
So I'm gonna take out my book, right? Like draw like a little map of Overton and like mark on the wall where they helped us go under, like where they hang out under there. And like we know that some of them we met him once before here, and I think his people hang out there, or their people hang out there.
All right. I've got some connections. You seem like the right sort. Grand could be the right sort someday. I'm gonna use my connections, but I need y'all to head on out.
Okay.
Okay.
Vamos.
Thank
Can
you.
Avita
you
Zayanan.
need like money or anything to make this happen, or
Only if you have favors to trade with it. Never mind. Not talking about it. On your way. And he kind of straightens himself up and just marches right into the woods towards one of those trees that you saw was glowing.
are you gonna use the magic tree for something?
You're on your way.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna put the other note in the box, like with the map for his people, and then I'll be like, all right, I have a plan. It's weird, but it's gonna gain us some speed. So I've been reading this book like all night. I think I can change myself into this giant bird, and you could ride me, and we can fly like really far in a few hours. That I could be changed.
So you can carry me and Bonnie and the cats and all of our supplies?
If I'm reading this book right, it's a really big bird.
You sure you could turn into something that big?
I hope so. I don't know. I'm gonna try. You might want like a rope, and like maybe like tie yourselves on. Maybe put the cats in a bag. Um, that's the only way I could think of to get somewhere really fast.
Okay. Okay. Oh, no. It's not that. I just cats and bags and out of bags. I think maybe we don't close. Well, we'll figure it out. Maybe we can. We'll figure it out.
Just describe to me what you're doing in preparation based on his description.
I am gonna.
I'm gonna change like when we're ready to go because it only lasts for a few hours, I think.
Okay. Well, why don't you help me tie up the supplies, and I kind of to Trixie, what she's thinking of is like water pails on either side, but what Larissa's going for is saddlebags. So I don't want to metagame, but like that's how I'm incorporating it. So Trixie's like, okay, when we want to carry heavy stuff, but like stay balanced, we use a stick, but I don't think that would work. So maybe if we try to make sure that if we have two piles of our stuff that are about equal in weight, and then we tie them on the end of each rope, or each side of a rope, and then we lay that rope over your neck, maybe, I don't know, something, or maybe you can hold it in your feet and then
Maybe
I don't know.
I don't know what my capabilities will be because this is a bird I read about in a book. I'm not even sure I can do this, but
Okay.
so I don't want to promise I can hold something in my feet. But I think I should be
Does
big
it
enough
not
to
have
ride.
feet?
No, it does. I'm also not sure what this does to Asher up here. Like when I become an animal, I've never done this.
Should we hide?
No, I don't think that's necessary. I think I would know that you're my friends still.
Okay.
Okay. So before we do this, I'm gonna go over to the grave. I wrote a little something for our friend. So I'm gonna say, like, we have all these skills that have served us well on the road, and it's easy to forget that it can all come to an end at any moment. So here we've buried our friend. We didn't know their name, but they helped us once when they didn't have to, and that gives us some insight into their character. I'm sad we didn't know them better, and I'm also awed that in their short time they're allowed on this earth, they took some of that precious time to help us. So thank you for your help, friend, and may you rest in peace.
That was very nice.
Thanks. All right. Now time to turn into a giant bird.
Okay.
Can you describe how you do this? It requires a caterpillar cocoon, but other than that, it's all what you choose to do.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm just polymorphing myself. Does that require materials?
The material is a caterpillar cocoon,
Oh.
so you easily probably swap
Okay.
it.
Well, I guess I'll find one.
You have it.
I'm going to find many if I can and just pocket some so that I have them in the future.
Roll a nature check if you're going to find many.
Are you looking for something in particular?
I'm looking for caterpillar cocoons.
Oh, you should look for some milkweed, and I'm gonna.
That's an assist. I'll let you roll it with advantage.
Because I rolled a 4. That's a 5. Never rolled a nature check. It's a 7.
You find one, and you realize you're going to do this search again to do this spell again. But you have one. Okay. What does this look like as you cast the spell? It's verbal, somatic, and material. So you have voice, movement, and the cocoon to play with as you're
All right, I'm
doing
going to say I will not like this, but it should help go faster. Hey, let's try to fly. And I'll flap in my arms.
There's this moment of the comical spot where both you and Bonnie just can't help but laugh as he starts flapping his arms, and then the arms grow and grow, and the face starts to reach up and transform, and his physical form exceeds the height of the trees, and the wingspan exceeds your vision this close. You can't see the ends of his wings, and it's no longer Asher there, but a giant, fierce looking bird of prey beyond anything you've ever heard of or seen. And I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Monks are not wise.
Monks are wise.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, my monk wasn't very wise. He's very smart. He's intelligent, not wise.
15.
You hold back the desire to have a screech of terror. Bonnie does not.
When she,
And the
does,
cats
when
are-
she does that, I would like to go like a whatever bird scream is.
Yeah, you try to do a nice gentle caw, and what comes is the fierce shriek of a hunting bird.
Am I the D&D equivalent of a giant eagle? Is that what happened?
If you want to call it that.
I'm just wondering if, like, for health purposes and stuff.
Oh, there's a whole thing there. I'll send you over what you got.
Okay.
But it probably shouldn't come into play. But for the next hour,
Yeah, don't
you
give them
are
ideas.
a giant bird.
Only an hour? I think polymorph is 3 hours.
Polymorph's 1 hour,
Is
but
it?
unless you have something special with it.
Oh, I thought it was 3. My bad. Okay.
I mean, if you have multiple castings of it, you can extend it. But
I do not yet.
so
I'm gonna crack on his arm and be like, it's fine, it's fine. I think it's fine.
I'm gonna, like, sit down as much as I can so they can get up.
Wait,
it mantles down and just
dust.
covers the area. It's feathers everywhere. And the two cats that are not currently attached to Bonnie immediately race up to pounce because they're dumb and young.
That, no, they'll learn. Can you blink twice if you can understand me?
Blink, blink.
Okay.
Giant Narsil just
Do you want me to try? Do you want to try to pick up these? Well, first of all, I'm assuming maybe we should see if you can fly.
I guess I'll stand up and run and try to fly.
Wait, give us a second to get up.
roll a this is too much fun. Roll a sorry, I have to turn myself down. I think I've been
You are so
blasting the mic.
impulsive.
Roll a
a
dexterity
bird.
check with advantage because you do have the instincts piece there, and let's just see how well you do at this.
That is a nat 20.
Sweet.
Nat 20 flying!
You take off flawlessly, allowing every instinct of the form that you have assumed to just take you into the air, and it's beautiful. You as observers, Trixie and Bonnie, you just see this happen, and you look around after just seeing him just take off, soar, and circle. You realize that two of the kittens are not here. And you just have to go, oh, okay. and you're soaring around
I won't stay up long because
brilliantly,
on some like
and then
level I know this isn't going to last long. So I
you
need to...
see the two kittens on each wing, fur, but like at the edge of the elbow,
Like
or the
dogs with their head out a window.
yes, and they
I can probably see them with my eyes like going this
oh,
way.
you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
you have full like dead ahead of you is a little rough and blurry, but either side, and you turn your head to see ahead, but everything is there. You can see back along the entire length of your body. When you duck your head down low, you can see down all the entire floor ground below you.
With a
you
nat
can
20,
see
you don't
Fisherton.
actually accidentally kill a kitten.
You can see Fisherton, and you can see all of the people there. You can see them and make them out. You can see the entire train of wagons that are being hauled by people, and carts and everything that are getting ready to go that have not left the gates yet.
What a dick.
And yeah, the world is laid out for you.
Okay,
And then you go back in and
I'll
land.
go land on the road and squat back down.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to try to carry this stuff in your feet, or do you want me to try to hold it and you can...
Is that something I could do, like carry our stuff?
I mean, you could carry a cow with your talons. The small amount of stuff that you've been carrying looks tiny compared to the talons that this creature
So the
has.
risk is more that it's too small to carry than it's too big?
It's more of a risk of it being small.
I'm going to be like, just like nod my head, like put it up on my head.
Okay, Bonnie, you're gonna have to help me with this. You're gonna have to...
I'm just going to like spread like flat, like a splayed
Okay.
chicken.
Bonnie, help me put this over his head.
You working together, you can easily get everything geared up and put on. The two kittens refuse to leave their wing perches. They are like dug into the feathers, and they seem to have found the most exciting spot in their little pea-brained worlds.
Where's Bonnie's kitten?
Still clinging to her.
Okay. And I point to the kittens. I'm like, is that okay with you?
I'll just like try to shake them off a little bit and see if they fall off.
They're like fiercely
Oh,
in there.
Isn't that just the same movement?
I guess. Oh, I can still blink at you twice.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna try. Maybe. Trying to think of how Harry rode the hippogriff.
That's why I suggested a rope like around the neck before I changed.
I mean, I can hold on to the saddlebags because they're in front of your wings.
Okay. Are they like strapped around?
I mean, they're hanging.
I mean, why don't you just roll a...
I'm just trying to like imagine where. Although he might be so big that doesn't matter where I put my legs because they'll just be like a toddler sitting on a chair with their legs not even.
That's what I was
Probably
gonna
just
say.
like
Roll-
grab feathers and
Okay.
you'll be fine. I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. Well, I am gonna hold on to the rope so that the bags don't like.
You can easily get yourself up there, and Bonnie clambers on.
You just hold on. Just hold on to me. I'm holding on to the rope.
Bonnie looks at you for a second, and then looks at these huge feathers and just grips the feathers on either side and goes, I think I'm going to hold on to the part that's attached to him.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
This might be a bad idea.
I think this is. It's going to be interesting.
All right. On that note, I
We're
stand up.
riding our friend.
Wow. Is this what it feels like to be tall?
Yeah, you're looking at like the
I'm like,
top end
Top
of
of
the
I got my
tree.
head like all twisted all the way around, like looking at you for like that you're ready to go.
It doesn't take much of your head turning before your eye catches them because you can see such great peripheral.
And I actually
And
changed
but it's
my-
intense.
yeah.
There's a
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I know what it
Giant.
looks like when birds stare at you. I'm gonna switch my hands from the rope, but I am gonna keep my legs like over the rope, and then I'm gonna grab feathers instead. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, with your hand size, you can
Just,
probably grab a single feather in each hand. That's the size of these feathers.
Well, if you pull one out, grab a different feather.
Just try to not like run super fast. You know what I mean?
One last time, one more roll.
Oh, I was hoping my nat 20 was going to carry through.
Just got to see what sort of fun happens.
What was the roll, Dex?
It's a dexterity check. It's against the creature, and I'm just going to pull up the creature really quickly. So
That's a 6 plus whatever the bonus
Okay.
is.
So yeah, this one's a little bit of a rockier start to your takeoff. You kind of like
Probably
trip, just
Not used to having a load.
It's not even just that. It's like now that the pressure is on, it's not just you going for a fun, like, who cares? What's the worst that can happen moment to being like, now I've got the 2 people and 3 additional passengers who I care about. I guess I already had them. And that trips you up just enough in your head that you kind of get a false start, but you get up there and you start flying, and you take off. So you have about, I'll say it probably take you like 15 minutes to get through this like little scenario, but 45 minutes worth of travel at extremely high speed, covering a ton of ground, covering probably the entire amount of ground that you would have covered in the day's worth of travel, before you start to feel a little nervous that the spell is going to end and start to wonder what would happen if it ended while you were in the air.
All right, so I will go down for a landing on the road.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, you go ahead and land. You're definitely have bypassed much of that period of travel and therefore any encounters for the day. And go about setting up camp. And I just want to go through, maybe depending, we'll see what happens over this little bit. I'm just going to play out a little bit further to see where we're at, whether this is just the cycle that you end up adopting for the rest of your trip. But when you arrive, you still have daylight left. So do you continue to travel on foot, or are you going to go about getting a camp put together? Are you going to go hunting for materials?
I mean, do we have daylight when we land?
Yes.
Yeah, they just
Oh, sorry.
said that.
I don't absorb everything. Sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's how I know that you're now officially good enough friends with us, because now he has stopped listening to you as well when you talk. So, welcome!
Undo. Command Z. Wait. Yeah, Command Z.
Now someone uses Apple products.
I use Control Z too.
Yeah, but what did you default to?
Defaulted to the computer in front of, which I found out is what I do when we're playing games at night. I'm on Control Z, and when I'm recording this podcast, I'm Command Z in it. Ooh, and I found an old Linux. Never mind. Not going on that. Red Hat was way more fun back
Careful,
in the day.
don't go down a squirrel hole. Thank
Alright,
you,
let's
Robert.
stop monkeying around.
I feel like we should keep walking until dark, probably, and then camp.
All right, great. So yeah, you make a day plus travel, and probably watching out for a campsite that looks good to you. You're on the edge of the woods the entire time. The flight has taken you to, honestly, the flight takes you, and the additional walk takes you to the place where that fork is. And so you can see that there's the fork that heads off at what looks like the beginning of a cliff face that you'll be going up, following the road that you were directed towards if you're going to stay to the left. And the other one goes in a different direction, and off in the distance you can see a green haze that you think might be the real life representation of the artistically drawn trees in the picture that you have as a map. But yeah, you go ahead and make camp there. Sound good?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be like, I think I can do that again tomorrow, but definitely not more than once a day. That took a lot out of me.
I was
I can't believe it worked. That was so cool.
yeah, I mean, kudos.
I turned that guy into a sheep. I had no idea I could do that to myself. And a giant bird.
Yeah, that's
I feel like the cats are just gonna hang out, clung to my shoulders now.
Can you just promise me if you're ever gonna do that to me that you like warn me or like ask?
I wouldn't do that to you unless, like, not without telling you, unless like it was like an absolute emergency and you were about to die or something.
Just saying. I know never to get on your bad side.
That would be.
Turn her into a squirrel.
Bonnie
Just
just
shorter squirrel.
kind of looks and goes, "It's not so much what he could turn us into, so much as what he could turn himself into, isn't it?"
I mean, it's both, because he can make himself really big, and I could be. Oh, you can make me even smaller!
Oh, I've always wanted to be a flounder. Or a crab.
I could definitely do a crab. I did that big crab into a little crab.
Oh, I want to be a crab. And as she's saying that, she becomes a little crab.
Oh, guess you don't need me.
You can see this little crab doing this happy jig.
Did you forget you could do that?
The crab just is spinning around in circles.
Oh yeah, she did that once before. I forgot.
I mean, I forgot she could do that, so...
I mean, we have so many crazy things happening to us these days. I forget
I mean, you...
all kinds of things we can do.
You guys do. Mine is just... No.
I mean, you're 3.5 feet tall and beat up people 4 times your body weight, so that's pretty amazing.
That's just training. I'm not magic. You're magic, and Bonnie's magic.
I've seen you punch people so fast that I can't see your hands. That's kind of magic.
No, that's just repetition.
In my head, I call it your flurry of blows.
There's in this silence that occurs, you hear another, "Oh yeah, I can do that too. Crabs are gross." She looks at her body and she's like brushing away something imaginary that just freaked her out. Okay, crabs aren't as cool as I thought they were.
I mean, I understand why you had that impression. Built-in weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the rest of it's all kind of...
There's 8 of them.
Yeah, that's a lot to coordinate.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna try not to do that again. Okay.
I mean, you can... I think you can still do it. You just, turn into a different animal that you like.
No thanks. No thanks. I'm done. I'm done. That's in my past. I have a new goal.
You should try birds because flying
What
is
do you
pretty
mean you have a
awesome.
new goal?
She pats the bow on her back.
Yeah, but this is part of who you are, though. You shouldn't...
I'm going to be master of the above the water.
Okay.
And she marches off into the woods.
This bow's freaking me out. Do you think I should try to undo the spell while she's sleeping? Or would that be like betraying her trust?
I don't know. She could honestly have just decided to try something different, but that seems...
The blood thing was weird.
That definitely...
Let's, for now, let's agree to keep an eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Bonnie's out in the woods doing something. The 2 of you set up camp and get ready. All right. Damn, Bonnie. When you're not trying to do something, you do something right. When she comes back with 2 cocoons in her hand for you.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
Master of the water.
does that tie in?
I haven't figured it all out yet, but I think I can find things that I need to find. And I know you said milkweed, right?
Yeah.
So I found weeds that look like they had that mammal milk.
Okay.
Well, thanks. I need these to do the
but
bird
how
thing.
did the
So
how did the bow help?
I mean, it didn't help, but it's giving me inspiration.
Okay.
to do more above the water things.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if I can pierce this and learn all the things that I knew underwater up here, I'll be so. And I think they approve. And she kind of glances down at the cat at her waist that seemingly hasn't left that spot.
Because she's just got like a cat fanny pack now.
Player question for the DM.
Yes.
Is Bonnie picking up levels in Ranger?
I don't know.
hate ya.
All right, so camp. Let's really quickly go through. Are you keeping the same order for watches?
I mean, how do
Sure.
you are you tired? Do you want to sleep first?
I can do watch. I'm okay.
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 Why don't I'll take the middle watch. Just to do something different.
Go ahead and roll.
I feel like the middle watch is like riding bitch on the subway.
What am I rolling for? Perception?
Go
Unless
ahead
you're
and-
Rurik who likes sitting in between two people in cars so they can sleep on them.
19.
How many times have I ever done that with you? Oh my. Okay. The night passes pretty uneventfully. There are several times where the woods seem to come alive, but you are able to put it off as natural beings and creatures. I think over the course of your time on watch, you kind of mark the different areas where those sounds come from and have a record of them that you can share with the next person on watch. And otherwise, the night goes really well. I mean, you just genuinely are aware of what's going on and probably keyed up from the nice long flight, have the energy, despite being exhausted in one path of your abilities. It's fed a bit of alertness for the night. Can you go ahead and roll your perception check for the second watch?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you pass along whatever you.
Aminals.
Just checking to make sure it wasn't cocked.
That is a 25.
Okay.
Tonight we see everything.
Very similarly, you are very aware of what's going on. The night just seems to be yours. You catch the places where he mentioned that there was nocturnal noises, and you actually spot some of the animals. There's a strange creature with antlers that you've never seen before. There are larger fauna here than have ever been seen around Overton. Overton, I mean, there's a bit of isolationism that plays into it, but Overton just hasn't experienced creatures of size. And you're starting to see some bigger creatures that are impressively sized and that maybe come from stories told to you by your parents' parents on their trip from wherever your people originally came from. And you're starting to confirm and see that the world has some of these beings, but they seem harmless. The most dangerous among them, simply dangerous by dint of the fact that it looks a lot like the 3 kittens you have, only slightly smaller than you imagine that they'll grow. But unless there's anything you're planning on doing.
Does my cat stay up with me also, like it did last
Mhm.
night? Does it see the big one?
No, it does not see the big. Unfortunately, it can't roll that high on its perception check. It is little. Okay.
I am small.
I am small and baby. Okay, Bonnie's gonna go for hers. Y'all are pretty hot. She's not as hot as y'all are doing, but she's doing pretty hot. So yeah, I think you all three wake up with stories of the change in the flora and fauna and what is going on. And are you going to try to repeat the previous day's exercise of flight?
I guess we could talk about it. Do you want to walk today or do you want to fly?
Turn to Bonnie.
I feel like we made.
I want to fly. I mean, if it makes you feel gross, that's fine. But I mean,
You could also probably do that, you know.
I don't know what level we're at now.
6, I think.
No, we're higher
7.
than that. Aren't
7.
we?
she kind of
I don't think she can
focuses
fly yet.
down at the ground, and I don't think I can do that.
Oh, maybe eventually.
Okay.
Maybe you just have to find the right animal to inspire you, the right kind of flying animal.
The crab of the sky. That
But
sounds
imagine, because it would be like swimming through the air.
gross. Master
water
of the water above the water.
Master of above the water, above the water. Up. And she's like very serious in this moment. Like this is like
Level 20 Bonnie's an astronaut.
I will rule all the land, the sea, and the skies.
Now she uses the right word.
What? Sorry, what?
Out of curiosity, what you just said, where did that idea come from?
What did I say?
You said, I will rule all of the land, the sea, and the skies.
No, I didn't.
Do it.
Can I see your bow?
I mean, sure.
All right, I'm going to take the bow. And where did I do that? Where did I do that? I'm going to say something feels funny. The atmosphere ain't quite right. Enough of this now, and I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on the bow.
Okay, there's no current spell on the bow,
Boom.
so you feel your spell fizzle.
That's all I got.
But it's magic, right?
Yeah.
Dispel magic dispels an active spell. Does not dispel an enchanted or magical item.
Also, Asher doesn't know this. He's just winging this
No,
shit.
I know. I don't know enough about detect magic. But like that's
This wasn't detect magic. That was the
dispel magic. I mean,
spell magic.
but that's what I mean.
Sorry, I thought that might work. I guess not.
Okay, so maybe it's
Hey, you. Can you hear me?
She's like looking back and forth between the two of you, like you're crazy.
Just
this.
shake it like.
This bow is making you act funny, and we're worried.
It's not making me act funny.
You just don't remember saying things that you just said.
Roll a religion check.
Monks do religion. Do it.
She's got access.
19.
Okay. Even as you're saying this, you start to realize that this is a lot like what Tanzanite would do when she was channeling her divinity. When something divine would intervene on her behalf.
Yeah, but she was never like possessed. What can we make a deal? A promise?
Yeah, I mean, just
when we get to the next town that has someone that can
As they're doing this, I'm holding it up to my ear. Like,
take a look at your bow and tell us a little bit more about it than Gran could.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
If it's good, then you can keep it. If it's not hurting you or changing you.
It's not doing anything. Only thing that's, I mean, it's useful, but I mean, I would happily get another bow if there's something better.
Some things can be useful, but but if it's not, or if it has some sort of connection to you that isn't voluntary on your side, that you didn't know. What?
go on.
Basically, if you got tricked, if it tricked you somehow.
Oh,
Then-
no, it's just a bow.
Asher's eyes go wide for a second because we've established he's read a certain book, and he goes, "It's not precious to you, is it?"
No, I mean, it's cool.
All right, he hands it back.
I mean, why wouldn't it be cool? I mean, watch. She pulls it back, releases, and a little chip of bark off of a tree that she was kind of vaguely paying attention to flings off. That's just super awesome, right?
I mean, a bow that doesn't need arrows is pretty cool, but
Yeah, I just like I
Well-
said, I'm concerned about how it's
do you remember how it ate?
affecting
Do you
you.
remember how it ate your blood? That was weird.
Oh, when we were flying, I tried something else on it. Here, do you have any water left? I kind of drank all mine.
I would assume that we had yes.
Pour a little bit on it.
Okay. I just do
So the like 2 or 3 dribbles that you actually landed on the bow kind of like move around in a little circle before you...
I guess the fact that it just absorbs liquid in general makes me feel a little better.
Watch this.
It's not
This is
eating
even
Bonnie.
better. Watch this. She goes to the spot where it was and she kind of like is... She blows. And the water wells up. As she blows on it, the water wells up, and then as soon as she stops, it gets sucked back in.
Ah, the legendary bow of water sucking.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
I just think it's really fun. It doesn't last long though, because now, and then she's like kind of looks for the spot again, and she blows, and the water wells up.
I mean, I have all this weird stuff happening. If Bonnie gets a weird bow, that's
Yeah,
you know,
just,
let's just
you know.
let's write it out. All right. Well,
Okay.
if we're gonna fly, then I say get everything ready, get on as fast as possible, and I'll go, and we'll try to get as much time out of it as we can. I think I got about an hour last time.
Okay.
I don't know if I get more like the more I do it, but we'll see.
Okay.
All right. So to speed things up, so to speak, if this is the tenor of the travel that you're going to do, we may have a little bit of a roll next week for just random encounters, but you have successfully bypassed the land route. And so we will use some fast travel mechanic and zip along to just outside the area where the town will be.
Which I should be able to see from the air way before we get there.
Way before you get there, which makes it even better because probably you can see it
Like,
before
is
they'll be able to
is
see it.
Tanzanite there? Just staring at the town.
and still be a day's worth of travel on foot away from it because of how well your bird form can see. But yes, that's where we're kind of wrap it up tonight. Hope everybody who watched, which might just be Andy because
That's all right, Andy. We love you.
oh, so there were some other people on and off throughout the thing, but that's
Did they comment?
no. But I got the concurrent viewers numbers popped up in little peaks here and there. Thank you, Andy, for watching.
Thank you.
As we've established, Andy is our collective audience as we grow.
Yeah.
And also Andy.
He's the live the live audience. We do have some people watching the podcast though who just got a terrible upload from me this morning because I forgot which one I was uploading. So I'll try again tonight and fix that one. But thank you all.
Just means
so
they get
much.
2 uploads this time.
Well, I'll make this one live immediately rather than waiting until later.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much. Hope you all have a lovely night. Andy, thank you. Have a beautiful night.
And thank you to my
Mostly a
podcast.
travel.
Thank you to my podcast mates for being understanding, and I'm sorry I was late, y'all. Unfortunately, real life sucks.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.